Welcome back. We're doing Module 8, which is the second part of Innate Personality. By now you've got your leader badge picked out, and presumably you're wearing it. And there are the 4 badges. So let's see how they fit. Let's do a little more investigation using video clips and stories to decide if you've got the right badge on. Start with an old fable. It's about a scorpion wants to cross the river. Scorpions can't swim, so he's sitting on the side of the river bank and waiting, and along comes a frog. So he says to the frog, "Mr. Frog, how about a ride across the river?" And the frog says, "Well, I don't know." And the scorpion says, "Well, why not? We know we might get out in the water. You might decide to sting me and kill us both." And the scorpion says, "Oh, that'd be stupid. I wouldn't do something like that. That would be a terrible mistake." So the frog says, "Okay, hop on." They get out there halfway across the river. The scorpion bites the frog, and the frog says, "You killed us both. Why?" And the scorpion says, "Because scorpions do what scorpions got to do." And our innate personalities pre-program us to behave in ways that may or may not serve us well. To set up the first video clip, I want to introduce you to the 4D process. This is very important. This works really well. In any interaction, like let's just say, for example, a stuck situation or a difficult situation, you want to begin with authentic appreciation. You will never go wrong with that. And then include, offer to collaborate. And so appreciation and inclusion are the WD-40, which is a common spray for unloosening bolts of human relationships and human dilemmas. Then it's very useful to describe an attractive future, then make a request or direct action. And here's a quote from one of our colleagues. Look at this. "When dimensions are omitted, people under stress fill them with their most toxic emotions and most pathological storylines." So the point here is that to prevent this, you need to address all 4 dimensions: appreciation, inclusion, attractive future, and then an action. This is the AMBR process that we use for our instructional activities. And I'm going to use it to organize the green personalities. The A is for attention, and the green personalities bring their attention naturally to valuing other people. They also tend to know and live core values. The mindset, as we'll see, is crucially important. People first. The behavior is they naturally appreciate others and naturally speak to their values, and they get great results without harming people. That's what they're about. And as we talked earlier, the diagonal is, of course, the orange, which is discipline and organization. So the greens, I know, are always challenged by discipline and organization. And how this shows up is very interesting. It's often an overdoing. One of my colleagues who does workshops is very green, and when he comes to the workshop, he brings 2 computers, 2 projectors. Everything's tested when he leaves home. Everything's tested when he arrives, because he's been bitten by organizational things too often. We're going to have a film clip of Gandhi. I'm not going to show you the film clip because when I put the film clips in these videos, sometimes YouTube pulls them out. We can give you the clips if you want them in a nice format. But I want to just tell you how 4-dimensional he is. And you can look at great speeches of any sort. The great speeches of politicians are always like this. He works a whole long time here over on the appreciation and inclusion. His core values are spiritual, nonviolent resistance. I welcome you all. And he ends the session with the other Indians with a wonderful, beautiful effort and activity where he sings the British national anthem, and all the Indians stand up, and finally the British policemen have to too. Then he has this fantastic vision. We cannot lose. They can torture my body, then they'll just have my dead body. And he works around the other dimensions for quite a long time, then comes to the first time he gives direction. And the direction is, we will not submit. We will not obey Mr. Smuts' new law. Another really interesting part of this video is to notice who does the decisive leadership action. At one point, the people vote with their feet, and a young boy stands up and an old man stands up, Without their action, without them taking action, there never would have been anything meaningful occur. So when I have teams that are having difficulties, I often ask them, will you stand up? What I mean by that is your team leader might be as clever as Gandhi in making speeches or urging you to do things, but in the end, it's up to you to take the action that moves the situation forward. This is kind of an interesting quote, Jerry Garcia. This is about the idealism of the Greens. Your thing is paradise on earth, and then the difficulty with basic organization. Now, I want to say that when you watch this film, it's a very beautiful portrayal of a person. So do not imagine that all Greens are this way. This is an exceptionally potent and accomplished Green leader. To the yellows, the attention goes naturally to the state of relationships, and people feel that they are included and belong. The mindset is teamwork brings success. Behavior is team building, and their vision of success is having results together. Their yellow diagonal is tolerating the blues, who are often very aggressive and very inconsiderate, let me say, in the way they communicate. They're living in logic space. So I looked for many years to try and find a yellow in a video clip. And can you imagine why it's hard to find these yellows? The reason is that they don't stand out. They don't like to stand out. That they will always give the credit to someone else. I went to a retirement for a person a couple of years ago. He was a big yellow. And he got up and spoke and said, well, I know you came here to celebrate the accomplishments of this team, not mine. And I went up to him after he finished talking and said, no, I flew out here to congratulate you, not the team. So I'm in that same house, and I'm trying that house had a nice setup. I could watch television while I made dinner looking through this open area. So I'm looking for, I'm watching the Hitler channel, the History Channel, and along comes this voice, and it says, the reason that Eisenhower was chosen to be Supreme Allied Commander is he was so likable. In fact, he was the only person that could get along with the difficult British general, Montgomery. I said, isn't this fascinating? Is it possible that I'm going to find my long-lost, invisible relating leader in a U.S. Army general? Well, so I went down to the video store, and they only had one tape of Eisenhower's speeches. I brought it home. I then got a six-pack of beer ready and some popcorn because I'm thinking I'm going to have to watch a big, boring documentary for a long time to find some useful clip. Actually, the first minute of the video was all I needed. He's speaking at a British academy, a British military academy called Sandhurst, and while he's talking, he talks about this. He says that the way we're going to win the war is by being there for others. And in conclusion, he starts off his very first sentence out of the box is, any person, whether in plowing the field or gun at the front, is equally responsible for winning this war. Then he says we're going to win through relationships and teamwork. And when he finally gives direction, he says when you work with the other soldiers, you must be their father, their mentor, even if you're half their age. So it's a very potent, continuous stream of urging things on. In fact, even more fascinating, he says it's not enough to win the war to be the toughest or the strongest. It's about how you relate to people. And some of you might not know, but he ran for president after the war, and his campaign button was I like Ike, and that was his nickname, Ike. So really fascinating. I don't see any I like Al Gore buttons. I don't mean to demean Al Gore. I have a lot of respect for him, but he's a blue, and it's much more difficult to win. So there's the film clip showing, and this is a wonderful statement of yellows. I can't see myself saying this in a million years. Some of my friends are for it. Some of my friends are against it. I am for my friends. The blues, which I am, the attention is to ideas, mindset, ideas trump people. Behavior, we're always competing with others with the best idea. The results, the path to success is creativity, innovation. And our big challenge is to interrelate with people as easily as we do with ideas. Ideas are a whole lot more fun and easier for most of us. So I see that I'm getting into the next segment. I'll stop here and we will pick it up in a moment. Thank you for joining me, and wherever you are, have a great day.